Today we're going to fly quite into a wall. That wall. A little while ago I posted a video of us driving over the FridayFPV Yeti frame, and a lot of comments that came back from that were along the lines of, you know, driving over it isn't a true test, you know, we don't drive over our frames or fly into rubber, we fly into walls and trees. So we flew into a wall.
That was way worse.
Oh, and we didn't get HD footage from those two cameras.
It is done. Second time, hit it harder, much harder. Right. Nailed it square on the money. I mean, check that out. Check that out. Motor's still, I mean, the props are gone, but let's be honest.
Check the frame stiffness.
That is solid. That motor feels fine. A little bit of dirt in there. That motor feels fine. I think this might even fly again. We're going to try and fly it again.
New props.
Yeah, let's put props on.
New props, and we're going to try and fly it again. I actually hit the target. Let's go see the damage. That one arm is not lined up. Right, this is, I don't know if you can see that. This arm, I think, is where the impact was. We broke an arm, and it looks like that plate over there, but the rest of the quad is still perfectly intact. I'm going to try and hover it as is, and if it flies after this, nobody can argue this thing's indestructible.
Well, no smoke. That's a win.
That is a big win.
Right, arming it after flying into a wall twice, and then diving square into the ground.
May the force be with you.
Friday rocks! You need no more. I'm so happy right now. Check it out. If all you really wanted to see was carnage and crashing, then the video is pretty much ended for you. If you do want a few more details on the frame, some technical specs and all that, let's hear what Dave has to say.
Okay, it's a race specific frame, but a really tough race specific frame. So if you're kind of flying out in a place like this, where there's dangers and hazards at every corner, you have to worry a lot less about actually busting up your camera or destroying the frame and crushing your stack in the center or something like that, because that's the real concern for a lot of us, is we're not too concerned about maybe breaking an arm, because that's a cheap piece of carbon to replace. But if you for some reason damage your whole stack or crush something or short something out, I mean, that's a massive cost, and it's an expense we can do without. So this frame does a really good job of protecting your center stack and your camera. 4 individual arms, 4mm thick. They are quite skinny. We've gone with a 3-bolt motor pattern there. Does that make sense? You can put 3 bolts into your motor because there isn't a hole for a 4th. I don't know how else to say it.
Let's go with that.
We've done a lot of work on this frame to try and get it as light and as strong as we possibly could. So what we did is we shortened up the arms to lose some of the weight, and you'll see both front and rear are almost identical. It's got like this little top chassis plate, and your sides actually go into that, but then also the arm itself is incorporated into this like core strength at the rear and at the front there. So where you need all the strength is at the front and the rear, where your arms come into the frame, and that's where all the strength is. Stack in the front here is 2, 6, 7, 8, 9mm thick. So there's loads of carbon in the front, loads of carbon in the back, and that's where you need the stiffness and strength. Only takes a 22mm wide camera, doesn't take a normal 26, 28mm camera.
So a mini or micro?
It takes a mini or a micro.
Didn't know, Dave designs and manufactures the FridayFPV frames, and he approached me the end of last year, and he asked me what I wanted in a frame. I told him I wanted something that was light enough that I could competitively race, but I also needed it to take quite a hard knock. And the testing we did really, I think, speaks for itself, and honestly I was a bit surprised that it took the beating that it did. Dave puts in a lot of work, a lot of R&D to get these frames to be exactly what we need them to be and to keep them updated, and I'd just like to thank him for that. A few other guys I want to thank for making the testing that we did possible, you know, flying into the wall and all that. There's a guy named Stefan, we've got Wesley, and we've got Devon. They all either donated some parts or helped with the filming of you know, crashing into the wall and all that. They really did help out.